We have no financial interest or disclosures. Topography-guided treatments use high-resolution placidodisc scans to generate a customized ablation profile. Anterior corneal higher-order aberration correction is added to the traditional sphere and cylinder ablation seen here. Here's an example of corneal HOA ablation profile on a Contura treatment screen. Contura also measures the anterior corneal astigmatism, but allows you to modify, enter, and treat any astigmatism that you want. Subjective clinical manifest refractive astigmatism, RA, is what we measure with a four-opter exam, and it includes all sources of astigmatism from cornea to brain. The topography-measured anterior corneal astigmatism, ACA, is what the Contura topographer tells us. It includes only the anterior corneal surface. These two can be different, as shown here, and this difference vectorially is called ocular residual astigmatism, or aura. Now, there can be a difference in both the axis of astigmatism as well as in the magnitude of astigmatism. The bigger the difference, the higher the aura. The various optics of the eye can contribute to this difference, especially posterior cornea of the lens and, importantly, the brain. Contura will treat the anterior corneal HOAs, but what astigmatism do we treat when refractive astigmatism and topo-measured astigmatism disagree? This was the subject of our study. We examined the axis of astigmatism as the single independent variable in all-comer eyes. Manifest refractive astigmatism axis was used to treat the first 900 consecutive eyes, followed by Contura-measured anterior corneal astigmatism axis eyes. But these ACA treatments were terminated when an analysis showed significantly worse outcomes. For analysis, the groups were further divided into eyes with a small difference between RA and ACA axis and those with a large difference. The distribution of the axis difference was identical in the RA and ACA treated groups, and you can see that a difference of more than 45 degrees was uncommon. Treating on topo-measured corneal astigmatism, the ACA, when the axis difference was small, up to 20 degrees, was slightly worse, but results were similar. But look what happens when the axis difference is higher, between 21 and 45 degrees. Significant decrease in efficacy by 5%. 15% more eyes have lower UDVA, and 16% less eyes achieve 20/20. We also found that the defocus equivalent was significantly higher. 11% more eyes had residual astigmatism greater than 0.75, with a significant increase in the angle of error. Look how telling the retreatment rates were, 1.6 versus 11% in the ACA group. Note that the ACA axis was used with the RA magnitude. Magnitude of error was not elevated here, and so this was the correct input. Treating on ACA axis and also ACA magnitude would have led to even poorer outcomes because it would not account for posterior corneal astigmatism. So the answer is scientifically clear. Treat the subjective refractive astigmatism. Now, this was our published study in JRS. The recommendation to treat on ACA is based on the potential benefit of a more uniform corneal shape and the belief that aura is mostly due to the anterior corneal HOAs, and that removing the HOAs just leaves ACA to treat, but there is no strong evidence to back that. So we looked at the role of anterior corneal HOAs with a review of 37,000 eyes. We examined the contribution of anterior corneal coma to ocular residual astigmatism. We found that the magnitude of anterior corneal coma does not correlate with that of aura or to a subjective RA. Coma is against the rule in 28%, where aura is against the rule in 86% of eyes, with no correlation between axis of coma and axis of aura. Therefore, coma cannot explain the difference between subjective RA and topo-measured ACA. Now, our surgeon group has treated over 130,000 Contura eyes on refractive astigmatism, and we have now contributed more than 40,000 eyes of data to the current literature. The FDA studying findings treating on the RA have been reproduced in several studies now without pre-selecting perfectly symmetrical corneas, all comers. For us, on almost 80,000 eyes, we report 92% seeing 20/20 and 65% 20/15. Topo-guided provides outstanding results. In summary, treating on subjective refractive astigmatism gives better outcomes than treating the topo-measured anterior corneal astigmatism. Naturally occurring anterior corneal HOAs do not contribute significantly to refractive astigmatism in the vast majority of virgin eyes. And posterior corneal astigmatism is likely a much greater contributor to aura and refractive astigmatism than anterior corneal HOAs, and therefore posterior corneal astigmatism needs to be taken into account when treating topography guided. And that is in fact exactly what we do when treating on the subjective refractive astigmatism. Thank you.